Okay, now that we have our audience seated, let's talk about the informative speech Doomsday Prepping. Have you ever just been sitting and wondered what that loud noise was? Was it the weather? Was it a meteor? Was it a war starting? Hurricanes, ice storms, tornadoes are all causes of doomsday. Meteors, we just had one that went 2 million miles and 27,000 miles per hour past our planet. And the news media called it a near miss. War, well, there's always been wars, and we know what devastation they can cause. Now that we know what can cause them, what do you need to prepare for doomsday? Well, there's water, there's food, there's communication, there's fuel, first aid, protection, and transportation. First of all, water. A human being can only live 3 days without fresh water. Where are we going to get this fresh water? Well, storage, hopefully. Hopefully you've prepared enough that you have containers of fresh water that will last you and your family through this crisis. If you don't have fresh water, there are purification systems. There's tablets, there's cold filters, and there's always rainwater, so prepare by having your gutters drain into buckets. Food. You can last up to 3 weeks without food, but you're still going to have those nutrients. Your refrigerators and freezers are going to be gone because you have no electricity. So now you're going to have to rely on canned goods, grains, rice, beans. All of these can last up to 8 years. And if you buy MREs from places like Wise Company, they can last up to 25 years. Now, hunting is not going to be an option because everybody's going to try to rely on hunting. Well, if they're hunting, that's going to make food scarce. So let's not pretend that hunting is going to be our only way of food. Communications, well, there's not going to be any. The best way to survive with communication is a hand-cranked radio. You can at least, if there's any news out there, you'll be able to receive it. Okay, now we have our fuel and I have our water and our communication, our food. Now we need fuel. We want hot meals. We're used to them. So if you have propane, make sure all your tanks are full. You can use propane in barbecues, over open hot cooking, or you can use propane to light fires. Okay, now first aid. First aid. Well, you're always going to have cuts, scrapes, especially if you're chopping wood for a fire or you're having to build something. So you're going to need to start with a basic first aid kit, and as you can continue to prepare, add supplies as you go. A little at a time. It doesn't have to cost a lot. First aid kit can cost up to $50. That's the basics. As you go, add more. Now protection. Protection, you're going to need to be able to safeguard all these supplies you've stockpiled. Make sure only you, your family, and the people that are going to participate in your survival knows about these stockpiles, because there's going to be a lot of people that does not do this, and they're going to want to find all the supplies they can, even yours. Now, transportation. Best transportation are going to be farm animals, start off with, because any vehicle that was made after 1980 has the electronics that will not work. Horses can pull an old truck, so there's transportation, or if you have old yard art, like wagons and old tractors, farm animals can pull those. So, in conclusion, don't be the one sitting around when you hear that loud explosion and think, I wished I would have prepared. Prepare now, because it will be too late then.